Boom, 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 boom. The blimp is my real town, and the train is my call. So yeah, I probably butchered the Pokemon intro theme song. However, I have to get a good thumbnail for all the platforms that this podcast streams to. So for example, if you're on Facebook, I don't get to upload a thumbnail for you guys. It just captures a photo and then says, hey, here it is. I think it's also like that on Twitter as well. However, on my other platforms, I was gonna say on me platform, I'm already in kid mode for these cartoons and animations. Anyways, so like I was saying, I'm able to upload a thumbnail, boom, I'm live, this is it. On other platforms, I really can't, so I try to be animated and give you guys some entertainment, you know what I mean, to capture that special moment. But without further ado, welcome to Reviews from the Six. My name is Cedric, but you can call me Ceddy Said. If you're new here, every Saturday we do Saturday morning animations or cartoons. I'm still a kid at heart. I always listen to my inner child, so I'm not embarrassed or ashamed of what I like and what I do. I even have a robe on for you guys, a little beanie. Now, I sleep in the nude, just to be transparent with you guys. I do sleep in the nude, so I don't wear pajamas or PJs. But if you have your PJs on, come on in. I hope you still have the rags on your dome. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know how we get down. But yeah, without further ado, I want to go ahead and get into some animations. I did see a couple on YouTube, which is the platform you guys need to be on. If you're not, come on to YouTube, give me a chat, hit me up, we'll talk about it. But without further ado, let's get into some animations here. I'm not too sure what animations were released. It looks like we have more of a variety than what we had last week. But a lot of these are live, so let's do this. Let's go back. Let's do animation, right? Let's filter that bad boy for this week so we can go ahead and hook up our creators. Because if we watch old stuff, it's just gonna promote, all the famous ones. And we trying to get small creators on, y'all, just like with small business owners, y'all. We got to put each other on. And if we don't do that, we're not gonna go anywhere in this economy. It's going to continue to obey the rich and the powerful, which is nothing more than making richer white men richer white men. I'm not trying to offend anybody over there, but like I said, I'm organic and I'm always honest and I'm always real. So when you come to this channel, you're going to get the real stuff here. But yeah, as you can see, we have a few animations here. What looks good? So last Saturday, I kept seeing MSA and I kept saying, like, this is the A&E or the Lifetime channel for women with animations, right? It's always like mean girl stuff, or some man did something to a woman and in the end she has a last laugh, how men are dogs and treat them wrong. So I think let's open there, because this is the first time my sister hates me, so I stole her boyfriend. Doesn't that sound interesting? Like, I would never do that with my siblings. Like, I would never go behind my brothers, bro. Never, ever, ever. Especially with the homies, I would never do that. I'm not even religious, but what's the scripture? Don't covet thy neighbor's ox. Yo, and it might not even be an ox. I think it's, do not cover thy neighbor's wife. But there are scriptures in the Bible where they're like referring to women as like cattle and things like that. So I just want to throw that out there. But let's get into it, because me personally, I think women are a lot more cattier than men. I think men do things like because they want to, right? Or they can, where women have like an intention behind it. So I think when you see stories like this or animations like this, it's a true story. It came from somewhere. It was inspired by something. So let's see. I don't deal with a lot of drama. I don't deal with a lot of women either. So let's see what this story's all about.
Hey friends, my name is Cora and I live in New York. Ever since me and my sister Anna were little kids, we had seen my mom and dad fight over the dumbest things. They just never got along. Why did you order Chinese food? Because you told me to order anything I wanted. But I hate Chinese food. And that makes me love it even more. It was a no-brainer that they weren't meant for each other. And Anna and I were the same. We just couldn't stand each other. Anna was the most annoying person ever to exist on the planet. And well, I was always there to pay her back. Once when we had some guests over, I was about to put a piece of chicken on my plate when Anna reached over and knocked it out of my hand. That's the biggest piece, you greedy jerk, and I had my...
So I was getting ready to make a comment about the black household. The big piece of chicken is always for dad, y'all. The big piece of chicken is always for dad. And I'm pretty sure Chris Rock told us that, or he reiterated that, but we already knew it. But yeah, with white folk, I don't know. Like, I never knew they fought over chicken, fried chicken at that. Hopefully it's baked, but by the animation, it does look like it's fried. I like this. Okay, let's continue.
My eyes on it first. You're a psycho. I leapt forward and attacked her, and the two of us wrestled over the piece of chicken. It went flying straight into a guest's face. Oh my God, you girls are just like your father, and it's driving me crazy.
What? Like me? They're exactly like you. You could be triplets.
And they both got into the worst fight ever. Dad started yelling that he couldn't live with Mom in this madhouse a second longer. And a few weeks later, Mom and Dad got divorced. And when Mom married again, all Mom cared about was his new wife. Every time we visited Dad, Mom would ask about how his wife looked or if the two were happy. She seemed to care more about Dad now that he'd left. And still, anytime Anna and I...
And that's a woman's thing. I think in every relationship I've been in and my daughter has come around, my daughter comes back and be like, yeah, my mom asked if she does this, if she's like that, if she...
I fought. She had only one thing to say. You two are impossible, just like your dad. As we grew up, things didn't get better. By the time I reached high school, Anna was the most popular girl around. Her boyfriend Eric was the hottest guy in school, and she was the cheerleading captain. My sister had it all. And since I was a member of her team, she made it her life's mission to torment me with the most difficult routines. Move your butt, Cora. Geez, you can't even stretch properly. Just then, a girl doing stretches next to me spoke in a sweet French accent. Your sister? She is a gem. Imagine my pain. She lives with me. The girl told me her name was Mandy, and she had moved to the US from France. We really clicked and became best friends. She was a nice girl, but Anna was always making fun of her accent. Why do you talk like that? Is there something in your mouth? No. I just talk this way. Jeez, it's so annoying. I feel like my ears will bleed if you talk. Anna, you can't talk to her like that.
But that's how their ancestors spoke.
Whatever I want. Look at this. And then Anna did the unthinkable. Her friends held Mandy's arms and Anna put tape over her lips. Now I can concentrate on cheerleading without having to hear your horrible English. I could see how embarrassed Mandy was, but she still practiced with Anna every day. When I asked her why she was putting up with Anna's bullying, she told me she really wanted to be a cheerleader and didn't want to get into trouble by speaking up to Anna. One time, we were practicing the pyramid position, and the football team was there too. As we did the last routine, all of a sudden, Mandy slipped and caused everyone to fall down, and Anna went ballistic. Oh my God! Like, do you even understand English? I told you to climb slowly. Now look what you've done. You've ruined our practice. I'm sorry. We can try again. I promise I'll be careful this time. Careful this time? Not a chance. You're out, Mandy. Just go back to Paris. And that was Mandy's breaking point. I hate you.
So that's like the equivalent of saying, like, go back to Africa. Hey, I dig it.
Horrible creature. I can't believe you and Cora are sisters. I hate you, you artless, arrogant, stupid dumbhead. Everyone gasped. Mandy attacked Anna, but my sister quickly moved out of the way, making her fall into the water cooler. Everyone started laughing, but it was only Eric and I who were pissed at what Anna had done. You're evil, Anna. I will get back at you. Make no mistake about that. Oh, don't be a sore loser. We'll see how you get back at me, huh? And then Mandy ran out of the hall in tears. I so wanted to slap Anna, but I ran after Mandy to console her. The same day, I saw Eric and Anna fighting in the parking lot, and then she ran off, ugly crying. And soon after,
Ugly
gossip
crime.
had spread about Eric dumping Anna. Well, my sister deserved it. Sometime later, we had a farewell prom at our school, and Eric and Mandy entered the hall together. When Anna saw them, she totally lost it. I know you're behind this, Cora. You set up my ex with frickin' Mandy. I know you did it so you could both get back at me. Duh. Yeah, I did it, because I knew Mandy liked Eric. He dumped you for being mean and shallow, remember? How dare you? I dated the guy for 3 frickin' years. Anna, you were the one chasing him like a lost puppy. He isn't interested in you anymore. Get over it. This really made her furious. She picked up the punch bowl and threw it on me. My dress, makeup, hairstyle, everything was ruined. I wasn't going to back down. I kicked her, making her fall on her butt.
Hi-ya.
She pulled me to the ground with her, and as we
What?
pulled each other's hair and screamed, I suddenly looked
Rip each
up,
other's clothes
and
off.
The entire school was watching us fight in shock, including Mandy and Eric.
Yeah, and rip each other's
Crazy
clothes off.
sisters. They're fighting like animals.
They got no class, but I'm enjoying this. Come on, punch her harder.
And
Yep.
for the first time,
Take
I
her
felt
clothes
really
off.
ashamed of how we brought out the worst in each other. Mom was called to the school, and when we got home, she kept telling us how we were just like Dad. And that was the point that I lost it. Yeah, because we grew up with some really awesome role models. Oh, shut up, Cora. You don't need to blame Mom and Dad for being a spiteful witch. I hate you for setting up Eric with Mandy. Actually, I just hate everything about you. Always have, always will. A few days later, Anna moved in with Dad, and I was so relieved. When I was done with high school, I got enrolled in a medical university. Once I started there, I cut all connections with Anna and never heard from her. After I graduated and started practicing, Dad took me out for dinner once and told me what Anna was up to.
She asked for a loan for some stupid nail salon business. She dropped out of university for that. There's no way I'm giving her the
I'm
money.
replying to
At least she was
chats
doing something now. I just hope
on
whatever it was
the
worked
book,
out for
y'all.
her.
Just to let y'all
One
know.
day, I was walking back to my apartment when all of a sudden someone grabbed my purse. But before the guy could run away, another guy came and knocked him down to the ground. When he returned the purse, I was shocked. It was Eric.
Wow, small world.
All right.
Yeah.
Wanna grab coffee?
So I gotta pause it real quick, y'all. I gotta give a couple shout outs here. I got a couple of my cousins in here. I got my cousin Ian Eddie Kane, baby. You know what I mean? He's the first one out of the CASTON males, you know what I mean? So you gotta give a big shout out to my boy. And then I got one of my oldest female cousins, Constance, in the house, y'all. She's also on my Facebook chat. I just want to go ahead and say that I love you guys. Thank you for attending. You know, we keep mashing on, baby. We got to get out here, get the name out there. You know what I'm saying? We got to build this empire together. And I need y'all help too. So I appreciate all the love and support. But I kindly appreciate you guys for hitting that like button and coming into the chat, y'all. I love it. Thank you.
I always wanted to take you out.
I don't know what your deal is, Eric. You were my sister's boyfriend and then dated my best friend for a couple of weeks. So just telling you, I don't go out with players. Saying that, I walked away. Once at home, I called Mandy and told her about how I had bumped into Eric and he asked me out. She screamed from the other end, telling me the guy had always been head over heels for me. Girl, he is really into you. The whole time he was with me, he only talked about you. You know what?
Oh, wow.
I'm giving your number to him. Go out, just once. For me, since Mandy was so persistent, I tried to give this a chance and accepted Eric's offer. I wasn't expecting it, but we kind of really hit it off. After that day, we both met often, and over time, I kind of fell in love with him. And one day, we were on the beach, and suddenly Eric got on his knees and proposed. And I said yes. Once we decided the wedding date, I knew I had to tell Mom and Dad about it and introduce Eric to everyone. So I invited everyone to a Christmas dinner, even Anna, after Mom and Dad asked me to. I was dreading it, because it was gonna be so awkward. And it certainly was. Dad was with his wife, and Mom was with her new boyfriend, while Anna was alone.
You
Even
hear
my
that?
friend Mandy was there. She was gonna be my maid of honor. While we were eating, Dad suddenly started bragging about how I had become a doctor, and Anna was working at a nail salon. Dad, I don't work there. I own it. I also make nail art videos on TikTok. It's viral.
Whatever.
So I just want to say a lot of people be lying when they say that. They'll be like, oh yeah, I'm the the manager at Jack in the Box or Burger King. You're not the manager, you're the cashier. And it's like what she's saying. I own the nail shop. You don't own that nail shop. You are the nail technician up in there working for tips. Why do people do that, y'all? Like, why do people? Let's continue.
It isn't as important as being a doctor. Look at the life she's made for herself. If only you were even an ounce like her.
What Anna does is good too, whatever it is. Mom, Dad, you both are impossible. And Cora, you are such a show-off. You invited us all to show off your new house and your fiance, who is my leftover, by the way.
Uh-oh, she don't like it.
What? I invited you because I wanted to make you my bridesmaid, but you don't deserve it. And Eric was with you a long, long time ago. So just get over it. Remember, he dumped you? After that, Anna glared at me and all of a sudden threw the soup in my face. My eyes burned. I wiped my face and ran after her outside. I would have slapped her hard if Dad hadn't pulled me back. For the first time ever, Mom and Dad stood between us and tried to stop the fight instead of just yelling.
Girls, stop this at once.
Anna, how can you do this to your sister after how much she helped you? Huh? What do you mean?
Anna, it was Cora who gave you the money for the nail salon, not me. She told me not to tell you.
She looked shocked for a minute.
That hurt her
she
ego.
Turned angrily to me. Why?
That hurt her ego.
Just to shove it in my face, huh? Anna, you are impossible. The party is over. After everyone was gone, I felt so sad thinking about the hate Anna had for me. I knew we were this way from the start, all thanks to our parents, but after school, both of us hadn't tried to make things better. On the day of the wedding, I really wished my family was complete and Anna was there. Right when it was time for me to walk down the aisle, someone barged in. It was Anna, dressed in the pink bridesmaid's dress with tears in her eyes.
Aww.
I'm not good at this, Cora.
She's gonna apologize for being rude because she was insecure.
So sorry for everything.
And she didn't want Sis to be better than what she was.
I had so much anger bottled up, and I took it out on you. Please forgive me. Anna, you came, and that's all that matters now. Yeah,
that's what she said.
I couldn't miss this. Let me say this, Cora. I can't promise to be nice to you all the time, because that's just not how our relationship works. But I swear, I will try my best to make it up to you for the rest of my life. And to prove it, I want to apologize to Mandy too. It was unbelievable to see Anna say sorry to Mandy. The two of them hugged. And when I learned that Anna had visited Mandy's place to talk, I was happy. My sister was trying to change herself. I am sorry, Anna. I'm sorry too. Let's get you married now.
Aww. See, like every one of these stories, like I said, it's the Lifetime channel for animation. But yeah, it always ends that way. Either the woman who was antagonized in the beginning always get the upper hand at the end. You know, she gets the apology that she feels like she deserves, or she gets the man that she feels like she deserves, so she wins at the end. Then of course the other person is just, you know, kind of crappy. But yeah, so MSA is definitely the Lifetime channel of animation. Let's see what else we got here. The competition. Which mermaid will win? How long is that? 3 minutes? What do y'all feel about watching some mermaids? Y'all want to watch some mermaids? Encanto. I was forced to choose between a jock and a nerd. I'm 20 and still in high school. How does that even work? MSA. See, it's a lot of MSA. Okay, let's see what this is about. So parents lied to me my whole life. I'm disgusted. Well, hey, newsflash, everybody lies to you. Your government, your clergies, your wise men, everybody lies to you. Your teacher, everyone lies to you. So, I mean, and I'm a father of an 18-year-old, so I can sit here and say that, you know, I don't lie, but I don't disclose the entire truth. And I may exaggerate just a bit, just to protect her. So I kind of feel that way when it comes to everything else too, even though I don't want to see it that way, right? I hate to say that the government lies to us all the time to protect us. But I mean, you got a lot of ignorant people out here. You got a lot of people who just aren't ready for the truth. You can't tell everybody the truth. Everyone wants to be real, but once you start being honest, they can't handle it because they're so used to being in a consensus. right? They're so used to having everyone say, hey, we agree on this together. And then that way they can say, okay, I can agree with that. And there's a lot of people who's agreeing with that, so I won't look wrong or I won't look stupid. But yeah, you still look stupid because you're a follower and you didn't do any research of yourself and you just jumped on the bandwagon. So yes, your parents lied to you. I lied to my daughter. But let's see what the lie's all about.
Incoming. Female, early 40s, motor vehicle accident.
Carrie, the head nurse, shouted from her station. "I'll take her," I said as I walked towards the emergency entrance where I knew the ambulance would arrive any minute. My shift at Woodvale Grove Hospital had just started, and she was going to be my first patient for the day.
Good morning, Dr. Hernandez. Surprised to see you here this early.
Diane, my colleague, said as she joined me. "What is that supposed to mean?"
Isn't your rich dad friends with Mr. Broth, the hospital director? I heard he's the reason you got the job. You don't have to work hard like the rest of us.
Clearly, Diane wasn't my biggest fan. "Come on, Diane, if you keep harassing me like this, I'll start to think that you like me. You know, all you have to do is ask me out for dinner." I winked at her and her cheeks turned pink. The wailing sound of an ambulance siren got her attention. A few seconds later, the ambulance doors opened and out came 2 paramedics and my patient. "Ma'am, can you hear me? What's your name?" I asked her after the paramedics briefed me on her condition.
I don't know. I don't know what my name is.
She looked terrified.
Amnesia?
Looks like she's experiencing some memory loss. She can't remember her name or where she was going before she got into the accident. We didn't find her purse, so we've named her Jane Doe.
One of the paramedics explained. As Diane and I attended to the patient, neither of us knew that our lives were about to change forever. Before I continue with my story, please like this video and subscribe to this channel.
Y'all
also,
hear, man?
to be the first to know
Hit that
when
like,
more cool videos
hit that
are added,
sub,
hit that notification bell.
hit
Good
that
morning,
bell.
Jane.
Make sure you
How
don't
are
miss any content.
Diane, what are you doing in here? A few weeks had passed since Jane Doe was brought into the hospital. Although she was fully recovered from her injuries, she still hadn't regained her memory.
Well, hello to you too. I was just keeping Jane company. Wouldn't it be funny if I regained my memory and we found out that my name was actually Jane?
We all laughed.
Do you have any good news for me?
Actually, I do, but I've got some bad news too. Diane, if you'd excuse us, I'd like to talk to Jane alone.
Whatever you have to say. Diane can hear it too.
Diane crossed her arms across her chest as if to challenge me to say anything else. God, she was annoying. I shook my head and continued. The good news is you've healed from your injuries. The bad news is that means we have to discharge you.
But she still hasn't regained her memory. Where will she go?
It was clear that Diane had taken a liking to Jane.
I've made arrangements to transfer her to a nursing home nearby.
Mr. Broth, the hospital director, said as he joined us.
But she'll be there all alone.
We've done all we can for her. Someone else needs this room. Jarvis, I want her discharged immediately.
I found that a little harsh to say, especially in front of Jane. I also found it strange that Mr. Broth was eager to get rid of Jane, but I didn't dare challenge him. He was the director of the whole hospital. Do you know what that means? He was my boss's boss's boss. Right away, sir. I gave Jane an apologetic look, but there was nothing more I could do for her. Where are you rushing off to? A hot date? I teased Diane. Our shift just ended and she looked like she couldn't wait to
Why
get
am
out
I
of
not
there.
I'm
understanding
going
this?
to the nursing home to visit Jane. By the way, I knew you were cold-hearted, but you've not visited her even once.
I'm not cold-hearted.
Prove it.
Why does he need to
Diane
visit her?
smiled. As far as evil smiles went, hers was pretty good. Prove that I'm not cold-hearted? Fine, I'll adopt a puppy. Happy?
As much as I'd like to see that, I meant you should come visit Jane with me.
She probably doesn't even remember me.
Actually, she does. She even asked if you and I are dating.
Violent coughing behind us startled us both. Mr. Broth was hunched over, coffee spilling all over his shirt.
Mr. Broth, are you all right?
Diane asked as she handed him some paper towels.
I'm all right, thanks. The coffee went down the wrong way.
Mr. Broth had been
Ooh,
acting strange
coffee
the
down the
past few
wrong
weeks.
pipe?
He always seemed to be around the corner when Diane and I were together. If I wasn't mistaken, he'd just been eavesdropping on our conversation just then. Weird, right? When Diane and I arrived at the nursing home, we found some kind of heated exchange going on at the reception. When we got closer, I realized that it was between Jane
Why?
and a uniformed lady. What's going on here? Jane turned around fast when she heard my voice. She ran straight into Diane's arms.
Please help me. They're kicking me out.
What? Why would you do that? I addressed the uniformed lady.
Her bill has not been paid for weeks.
That had been a mistake. Mr. Broth assured me that the hospital was taking care of Jane's bill.
Something's fishy.
I demanded to see their records and was shocked to see that the lady was telling the truth.
Why are they so
Jane's bill was
invested in her?
unpaid for weeks. Why would Mr. Broth lie?
Is
I'll
that his
pay her
daughter?
bill, then I'm getting her out of here. I can't believe you were about to kick her out. I was going to have a very serious
Or someone
talk
he
with
was having
Mr.
an
Broth,
affair with?
But first, Diane and I needed to get Jane settled into my house. After we moved Jane to my house, I went online and searched for PI services nearby. After almost 1 hour of searching, I settled on one and called them immediately.
Tom and Jerry Investigations.
Tom and Jerry
This is Jerry
Investigations.
speaking. How may I help you?
I chuckled to myself as the man on the phone introduced himself. Hey, yeah, I'm calling to book an appointment. Early the next day, Jane and I sat in front of Jerry, the PI. He told us his partner Tom was out chasing a lead. Jane told him what happened to her and asked if he could try and find out who she was. He wrote down some notes and took a photo of Jane. We filled some papers, paid, and left. On our drive back to the house, I thought I saw a car following us, but a few turns later, the car disappeared. A few days later, I arrived at the hospital, and I heard Mr. Broth arguing with someone.
He's living with her, for goodness sake. I followed his car and saw him enter the PI's office. How could you let that happen? I thought
What?
I told you to get rid of her.
The voice sounded familiar.
Please calm down, Mr. Hernandez. My plan was going well until that nosy Diane took Jarvis with her to the nursing home.
What is
Mr.
going
Hernandez
on?
was my dad. Were they talking about
Oh.
Jane?
We need to get Rachel away from Jarvis before she regains her memory.
Oh my
Huh?
God, I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I rushed out of there and called
So
Diane.
he's afraid
I told her what I'd overheard. and
she's
she was
gonna
just
remember
as
the
shocked as I
son
was.
and out
We
him?
agreed to meet at my house. Minutes later, I was stuck in traffic when Diane called me.
Jarvis, Jane is not here. I found your door unlocked. Should I call the police?
I thought about it for a second. Don't call them yet. I took a U-turn and drove back to the hospital. When I arrived, I went straight to Mr. Broth's office. I didn't even bother knocking. Where is she? Mr. Broth didn't even look up from his desk.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Jane, what did you do with her? What are you and my dad hiding? That got his attention and he stood up fast.
Jarvis, you need to lower your voice.
Tell me where she is now. I overheard you and Dad earlier. Jane's name is Rachel? Mr. Broth sank to his seat and held his head between his hands. Start talking. And if something happens to her, I'll report you to the cops.
She's not in any danger. She's on her way to the airport.
What? Why? How could she just leave without telling me?
Please, sit down.
Mr. Broth handed me an old, dusty medical file. Whose medical file is this?
Open it.
The name on the file was Rachel Miller. Dad had referred to Jane as Rachel. Could this be her file? I don't understand.
Jane Doe is Rachel Miller. 23 years ago, she came to this hospital pregnant. Before I became the hospital director, I was the head obstetrician.
That means he used to help pregnant moms give birth to their babies. It says here that she gave birth to twins, a boy and a
Uh-oh.
girl, but they both died?
That's what I told her.
You lied to her? What did you do with her babies?
I...
He sold them.
We were both startled by the sound of Rachel's voice. When did she even get there? Hey, Mr. Broth said that you left.
He lied. Your dad showed up at your house with a check for $5 million. He told
What?
me to take it and disappear. I took the check, and he asked his driver to drive me to the airport. After the driver dropped me at the airport, I took a cab and came straight here. Jarvis, I remember everything.
That's great news, but I don't understand why my dad is interested in getting rid of you.
Wait, where's Mr. Broth?
I looked around and was surprised to see that Mr. Broth was no longer in his chair. He must have slipped out when you and I were talking.
Jarvis, I need to tell you something.
Rachel had tears in her eyes. What's wrong?
The babies Mr. Broth sold, one of them was you. He sold you to Mr. Hernandez.
Uh-oh.
You're my mother? But Dad told me that they adopted me after my mother died at birth.
He lied to you.
Setting
A few
malfunction.
weeks ago, before she died, your mom, Mrs. Hernandez, hired a PI to look for me. She gave the PI a letter confessing to everything she, Mr. Broth, and Mr. Hernandez did. That's what I was coming to tell you when I got into the accident.
Have you ever gotten news so shocking you thought your head was going to explode? Yep, that was me as I listened to Rachel. All my life I thought I was lucky to have such loving adoptive parents. Boy, was I wrong. We need to tell the police.
Yes, but Jarvis, you have to know that if we call the police, Mr. Hernandez will get arrested too.
I thought about it for a minute. Did I really want that? My dad and mom had been wonderful parents, but they also stole me and my twin sister from my real mom. What would you do if you were me? Let me know in the comments. As much as I don't want to see my dad in trouble, you didn't deserve what they did to you. So yes, let's go to the police. The police arrested my dad an hour after we made a report. He was shocked to find Rachel and I at the station.
Jarvis, I'm so sorry. Your mother wanted a baby so badly.
So you stole mine? How could you do that?
Rachel was screaming in my dad's face, tears streaming down her face. A few minutes later, uniformed officers walked in, dragging a very frightened Mr. Broth. When Rachel saw him, she lunged for his neck like a tiger would.
Get this crazy woman off me!
What did you do with my other baby, you lunatic? Where is she? Lady, you need to calm down and let us do our jobs.
A lady officer told Rachel. She asked us to wait as they questioned both my dad and Mr. Broth. An hour later, she came out and gave us some shocking news. Mr. Broth had finally told them that he sold my sister too. That wasn't the shocking part. The shocking part was who she really was. Diane is my twin sister, but she grew up in foster homes. Mr. Broth sold her to a foster home? The officer might as well have told me I was growing two horns.
The woman he sold her to died when Diane was a toddler. She went into foster care after that. Mr. Broth has been secretly paying for her education. Then he got her a job at the hospital. I guess he felt guilty.
I didn't know how much more I could take, so I told Rachel I was leaving the station. She asked if I could accompany her to break the news to Diane. And I said sure, why not? It was going to be one interesting family reunion. I called Diane and asked her to meet us at my house. When she arrived, we sat her down and told her everything. Rachel and Diane cried and embraced each other so many times. I too felt tears prick the back of my eyes, but I cleared my throat and pushed them away. There was no way I was going to cry in front of Diane. I'd never hear the end of it. I guess now we know why Mr. Broth choked on his coffee when he heard us talking about dating. For the first time since she walked into my house that evening, Diane laughed.
So what happens now?
Diane and I looked at Rachel.
Well, you both have had quite an eventful day. I know you need some time to process everything, so I'll go back to my home, and whatever each of you decide, I'll accept it. I'd really love to get to know you both, but that's up to you. I'm just happy to know that you're alive and well, and that Mr. Broth and Mr. Hernandez will pay for everything they did.
Dinner was quiet. Each of us deep in thought about the events of the day and what it meant. The next day, Rachel went to her home. I planned to visit her often so we could get to know each other more. A few weeks later, the case against Mr. Broth and my dad began. Diane and I got Rachel a lawyer and promised to be there for her every step of the way. After all, she was our mother.
Hey, that was crazy. Like in the beginning, I was like, I don't know where this story is going, because it just seemed like they tried to make it too complex. And then it was like, you know, they left out a lot of information. So the whole time you're questioning like what's really going on. But then you realize that's the whole purpose of it, right? The whole purpose was to solve the mystery. I mean, I didn't really see it coming. There was a couple times I thought like, okay, this is an affair, you know what I mean? Or maybe the doctor did something to her, you know, in the hospital and now he's trying to cover it up. Or maybe, you know, she's on the run from the mob and she has amnesia or memory loss because she got into an accident. You know, there's just so many things where you could just speculate what it was. And I mean, it was kind of a slow burn, but in the end, I guess I kind of liked it. Let's see what else we got here. So we have the Poor Princess Life, Rich versus Broke Family. Ooh. The Secret Origin of Glamrock Freddy. So I know when it comes to Freddy, isn't there like a cartoon that he has, or a video game or an app or something like that, I want to say. Well, let's see how long that is. 10 minutes. Let's give it a check. Let's see how good this is going to be.
I know what this is. I have been here before.
To Freddy Fazbear's Pizza Place?
I found myself for the first time when I cleared the path. I did not want to, but I had no choice. Now I have a choice. I have changed. My friends are here. They are so angry, confused, but I can protect you. I am not me.
Okay, time out. Start from the beginning. Who are you then?
Right, education.
For you to understand who I am, you need to hear the entire story.
My daughter played this game, but I never knew what it was about, and she never told me. I think it's like a survival horror game.
Crying child.
Wow, your brother is kind of a baby, isn't he?
It's hilarious.
Why don't we help him get a better look? He'll love it.
No, please!
Come on, guys. Let's give this little man a lift. He wants to get up close and personal.
No! I don't want to go!
You heard the little man. He wants to get even closer. Hey, guys. I think the little man said he wants to give Fredbear a big kiss. On 3. 1, 2.
Why do they have masks on? Ooh.
That was the bite of 83. The boy survived the attack, but not for very long. Afterwards, the brother vowed to do everything he could to make things right again.
How do you make things
But
right?
it was going to take quite some time.
What do you mean?
We'll get to that. First, we need to talk about Mike Schmidt.
So is this machine
See,
alive?
Many
Possessed?
years ago, a young man by that name got an overnight job at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza.
Okay.
He was a security guard, much
Hey.
like Vanessa is here.
The best
Was
job
he
I
a
ever
bad
had,
guy
actually.
Too?
No, he was trying to do good. Every night he worked there, he stopped the animatronics from attacking. And on
Oh.
the 7th night, he tried to reprogram their AI and was subsequently fired. Also for unprofessionalism and odor, apparently.
What does any of this have to do with the rest of the story?
Because Mike Schmidt was the older brother who accidentally killed the crying child.
What? How?
Mike Schmidt was just a name he used to hide his true identity. Michael Afton.
Afton? Like William Afton? The founder of Fazbear Entertainment?
The very same. You see, William Afton had 3 children, 2 sons and a daughter, and their relationship was complicated, to say the least. Years after the death of his brother, Michael takes a job at Freddy Fazbear's sister location, Circus Baby's Entertainment and Rental. He's instructed by his father to retrieve his sister, Elizabeth.
What happened to her?
She had been taken captive by an animatronic named Circus Baby, a cruel device
Mrs.
made by
Reviews
their
from the 60s
father.
here.
Her soul was fused with the endoskeleton, and the two became one. Michael went to save her, but he was fooled.
So this is the
Instead of
younger brother
rescuing
now,
his
right, guys?
sister, he was scooped and used for his body
Ooh.
so that the animatronics could escape. He was a zombified corpse, a human costume for horrible animatronics, now called Enard, to use as cover while they walked freely in the outside world. But over time, the flesh suit began to decay. The once normal human body began to rot and change
And that's
colors. Michael
animatronics?
became a purple man. And just like that, their cover was blown. The animatronics inside Michael were forced to escape his body and flee into the sewers. Any normal human would have died, but not Michael. He had been injected with Remnant.
He's Jesus.
Remnant is a soul force. It can be injected into inanimate objects to make them immortal. In this case, the corpse of Michael Afton. It's what allowed him to survive, essentially making him immortal.
Wow.
So he's an immortal
I can't
god
believe
now.
it.
That's when Michael Afton
Who was
decided that he needed
possessed by
answers
animatronics?
and took on the alias of Mike Schmidt. He
Oh.
needed to understand what was really happening behind the scenes at his father's restaurants.
So, Michael accidentally hurt his brother, then got scooped by Enard, then became Michael Schmidt and worked as a security guard?
Yes,
They doing too much with this story.
A lot.
Yeah, exactly.
it is.
What happened after that?
Michael's experiences started to haunt him nightly. From the death of his brother, the betrayal of his father at sister location, and his stints warding off evil animatronics, they were adding up. You would have horrific nightmares that combined all these elements into a singular home. Michael had to deal with his inner demons one by one over the course of several nights. He had to relive the tragedies he committed against his younger brother. He needed to feel that pain.
Uh-oh. Hey, that's pretty dope animation.
It sounds like Michael was being too hard on himself. The crying child's death was an accident.
Yes, but Michael wasn't exactly a good brother before that incident either.
Oh.
The week before his birthday party at Fredbear's family diner, Michael bullied his brother repeatedly. He'd lock him in his room for hours.
That's what big brothers do.
And scare him with his foxy mask. He tormented the poor,
the fingers.
crying child.
Why was Michael so mean? Why would he do that?
Because he's insecure and
I'm
he
not
hates himself.
sure, Gregory. I wish I knew. But he was never going to be like that again. And the nightmares made his path forward clear. He had to destroy his father, William. He had to stop him for good. It took years for Michael to find William, decades even, but he eventually tracked his location down to an attraction called Fazbear's Fright. All the old pizzerias had been closed down long ago. The new current owners of Fazbear Entertainment decided to cash in on the scary history of its establishment and make a replica of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza with some minor horror embellishments to up the fear factor. It was going to open to the public in a matter of days, so Michael had to move fast. You see, William Afton had been missing for quite some time, but Michael believed that his father had infused himself with the animatronic known as Springtrap and was hiding here at Fazbear's Fright. And Michael was right. Springtrap was there, found boarded up inside one of the safe rooms. To make matters worse, there was an issue with the ventilation system that caused him to see
I got lost
awful
eating quickly right
hallucinations of
there.
other
I don't know
animatronics, similar
what the
to his
story is.
dreams from before. Michael burned it all down. He couldn't allow that place to open and for his father to be able to hurt innocent people once again. But that was just the start. He needed to end this for good. Eventually, he teamed up with a man named Henry, William's old business partner, who also had many reasons to seek revenge, in order to get rid of all the animatronics for good. Together, they faked a grand reopening of the Fazbear Entertainment restaurants and were able to get all the robots and souls under one roof. They set the place ablaze, just like the attraction before, hoping that it would take everything associated with William down forever. This even included themselves. Michael died in that fire. His mission was complete, or so he thought.
Okay, yeah,
Freddy?
they're trying to do a whole
The
lot.
restaurant
I'm trying
that
to
burned
piece
down
everything together.
is this place, Gregory, where we are right now.
Freddy Fazbear's Pizza Place?
Yes,
How do you know all this?
because I am
And Mike
Michael
Schmidt.
Afton.
Ooh, I thought it was Schmidt.
When the new Freddy Fazbear's
See,
Mega
what?
Pizzaplex was built on top of this restaurant, my soul must have been infused into this new glam rock Freddy body somehow.
Glam rock.
And I think if we continue, we will find my father William once again reborn.
We have to stop him!
Y'all see the pitchfork in the background? Look behind the boy. All right, so I really don't know what to say about that right there. The the story was all over the place. I feel like they try to cram in. So I do know there's like 2 or 3 video games and maybe a board game with it, with I think it's a Night at Freddy's or something like that. So I think what they try to do here was give you all that backstory, but then give you a new story too. But it just didn't make any sense because you couldn't follow the characters. It was as if the characters were transferable. So one minute you had the brother, and then he became a security guard, but really he's the dad who had the animal knights in him that transformed him. So he took an elixir that made him eternal. What? Yeah, they just tried to do too much. But let's see what else they have on here. So normally I try to save like these for night, or like do a whole new series where I'm doing like horror and the things I like. But during the morning, like you don't want to watch that stuff. But let's see Squid Game logic. That's 30 minutes long though. I don't know if I want to watch that. Let's see, because this is about what, 17 minutes till noon, so morning would be over. But let's see what we can watch. Squid Game doll. Huggy Wuggy go to beach. Friday night funkin' animation. Let's see. Poor creepy girl. Biting twins. It's 39 seconds. Monster School. Mark Pillar animated. Five Nights at Freddy. See, I think they just started the Five Nights at Freddy animations and they're promoting it now. Let's see. The best dunker at every height. What's this one? It's still Freddy. Furry, the first contact. Let's check this out. This one looks cool.
Flash kids.
About furries and is no way associated with or endorsed by Games Workshop. So correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't a furry like those people who dress up in animal suits and have sex? Aren't those what they call furries? I don't know. Someone in the comments let me know. I could be totally wrong. But let's continue.
This planet was called Pulchra once. It is no longer that. A strange corruption that we would later know as the lupus mortem had spread across its surface like a disease.
It's like a COVID virus.
Myself and 9 other battle brothers were tasked with investigating to see if the world could be saved.
So aliens are coming to the world to observe COVID.
They get of dense lilac long grass to investigate areas of interest. The other 5 were taken to a safer landing zone 40 miles south to a clearing in the jungle. We lost contact immediately. Brother Brevecto was the first to be taken. A chitinous creature bounded upon him, piercing his armor with its mandibles and tearing him away. We heard him die on our comms. But with our
I'm loving it so far.
We had no choice but to press on. Brother Vidbeck also fell in that matted forest. It was then that we came upon the most striking landmark of the planet. A singular mountain that pierced the sky, red and angry. Just beyond this rocky terrain laid our destination, and hopefully our brethren. I gave the order to ascend, thinking it
It's like Transformers meets Halo.
Parasites, and to gain a greater vantage of our surroundings. It was only when we were halfway up that the seismic activity of the mountain became apparent. This surprised us, as the orbital scans had shown no active tectonic plates or magma chamber in this region. The first pyroclastic flow took part over. It was granted the Emperor's peace. And peace it was.
Put him out of his misery.
For what we saw once we reached the summit will stay with me forever. What was it?
I love how they did the eyes like that.
We thought we had been observing the planet. The planet was observing us.
It's a fairy!
We descended down the mountain with all the haste our gene-forged bodies were for us, until we came upon the landing zone, where we found our brethren locked in combat with, well, like creatures. The ground pulsated beneath them, threatening to swallow our ship. 4 battle brothers died to allow us to escape with the information I present before you.
They remind me of the sandworms from Beetlejuice.
Brother Loxa, Brother Bea, and Brother Ivermectin. Their names will be entered into the litanies of remembrance. Am I to understand we must leave Pokra to die? No, brother. We must help him die. Reality has fled Pokra. Insanity bubbles at its core. Tides of madness spring forth, twisting and breaking the landscape into shapes that cause the human mind to babble and bray. Pokra has broken from reality, and now, too, it must pass from it.
Look at the furry mask.
Introducing the brand new Furry Apocalypse mouse pad! Nothing is medically better for your wrists than resting them upon the supple ass
Hey,
cheeks
that's
of
pretty
a
cool,
conquered
though.
foe. It is a symbol of sublime victory. But victory requires sacrifice.
Avenge me, brother! Brother, avenge me!
Which is why we also created a symbol of sacrifice. A way to wrap yourself in the dying screams of a stolen brother and tell the world he will be avenged. Buy both pieces and get a 15% discount. But hurry, the mouse pad is only available for the next 10 days. Link in the description.
So I actually like that. That was great animation. I like the little script they had. It had some humor to it. The voiceover was impeccable. So yeah, let's go ahead and hit that like. Let's hit that sub button. Bam, liked and sub. But yeah, so I think that's it for the day. There's 10 minutes till noon, and it's probably noon somewhere else. I know it is. But with that being said, I want to thank you guys for joining me today. Again, my name is Cedric, but you can call me Ceddy Said. This is Reviews from the 6, and today we just completed our Saturday morning animation / cartoons. Make sure you hit the sub button. Subscribe, become part of the tribe. That's what brought you here today, is the energy. Make sure you hit that like button. If you don't hit the like button, YouTube won't think anyone likes me, and then it won't show my video to anyone, and I can't get any ad revenue, but we need that bag, so hook your boy up. Make sure you leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about Saturday morning cartoons. Is there any animations you would like to see? Do you create animations? What's your favorite cartoon? Also, hit that bell. If you don't hit that bell, you're going to miss everything I upload. And when I go live, you don't want that. I come with the good stuff and the entertaining things here on social media. So make sure you do that. Again, like I said, my name is Cedric, but you can call me Ceddy Said. This is Reviews from the 6. Thank you for joining. Peace, love, and blessings.